My mic okay? Members and to our public in the gallery and watching at home or on their devices. Pursuant to the authority vested in us under Public Law 17-22, we, the chairpersons of the Youth Congress Committees on Resources, Economic Development, and Tourism, as well as Health and Welfare, call this joint committee meeting to order. We will begin with the first order of business. Clerk, please call the roll, beginning with the REDT Committee.
Present.
Present.
Present. Thank you, Clerk. With one member absent, a quorum is still in order from the committee. For the record, please take note that Senator Palacios is excused from this meeting. With that, I turn the proceedings to Chairperson Sablan.
Thank you, Chair. At this time, I recognize the clerk to call the roll for the members of the Committee on Health and Welfare.
Senator Palacios, Senator Maglonia,
Present.
Senator Tomacani,
Present.
Madam Chair.
Present.
Madam Chair, 3 members are present, 1 member is absent.
Thank you, Clerk. With all 3 members present, a quorum is in order for today's meeting with Senator Palacios excused. We also recognize the presence of the Speaker who will be attending this meeting as an honorary member. With both of our committees constituting a quorum, we move on to item 3. At this time, the chairs will entertain a motion to adopt today's agenda. I recognize Senator Tomacani.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I offer a motion to adopt today's agenda. So moved.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded to adopt today's agenda. Discussion?
None.
There being none, all those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. The ayes have it. The agenda for today's meeting is adopted.
We move to item 6, public comments. The floor is now open for any member of the public seated in the gallery to offer comments on today's agenda. Please limit your statements to 5 minutes, and as a reminder, anything stated within your testimony not relating to today's agenda will be removed from the record. The podium is now open. If there are no public comments are hereby closed. We move to item 5, new business. We have 3 items under item 5, and at this time, the chair would like to introduce our first item under new business, which is Youth Congress Bill 18-09. To amend 4 CMC subsection 1403 by providing a new subsection to exempt fuel distributors, importers, or retailers from paying the liquid fuel tax for a period of 6 months. This bill was referred to the REDT committee during our second special session by former Speaker Cielo Long. The mover of this bill is our Speaker, Senator Sasamoto, and the chair will now recognize the author to further elaborate on the purpose of this bill. Madam Speaker, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Following the COVID-19 pandemic and with the current state of the economy, both locally and globally, the price of fuel has risen significantly. Residents of the CNMI feel constant strain due to these higher prices. In Tinian and Rhoda, especially, the price of fuel is even higher. It is difficult for wholesalers and retailers of fuel to meet all the tax requirements, and that higher burden on wholesalers and retailers in turn places a high burden on consumers. As such, this bill proposes to amend 4 CMC subsection 1403 by providing a new subsection to exempt fuel distributors, importers, or retailers from paying the liquid fuel tax for a period of 6 months in order to alleviate the price pressure. At this time, I yield, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Are there any further discussion, members?
None.
If nothing further, at this time, the chair will now entertain a bill to pass Youth Congress Bill 1809. I recognize Senator Tomokani.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move to pass Youth Congress Bill 1809 in its current form.
Second.
A motion was made to pass Youth Congress Bill 1809 in its current form, and the motion has been seconded. Discussion?
None.
There being none, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. The ayes have it. Youth Congress Bill 1809 is passed in committee. At this time, I turn the proceedings over to the Chair on Health and Welfare.
Thank you, Madam Chair. There are 2 more items under new business, and at this time, the chair would like to introduce the next piece of business under item 5, which is Youth Congress 18-10 to prohibit the use of certain disposable food service containers and for other purposes. This bill was referred to the committee during our last regular session in January. This bill was originally introduced in the 22nd legislature by the late Rep. Ivan Blanco. Passed by the House, was not passed after it made to the Senate. My findings and purpose for the bill is polyester, also known as styrofoam, is a petroleum-based and non-biodegradable foam. The Environmental Protection Agency and International Agency for Research on Cancer consider this material a possible human carcinogen. The material can cause serious impacts upon human health, wildlife, aquatic environment, and the economy. The reason why I am pushing to have this passed. That is the reason why I'm pushing to have this passed. Thank you. As I am the main mover of this bill, I ask the RED chair to preside over the rest of the proceedings.
Thank you, Chair. Is there any further discussion on Youth Congress Bill 1810?
None.
If nothing further, at this time, the Chair will now entertain a bill to pass Youth Congress Bill 1810. I recognize Senator Tomokani.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move to pass Youth Congress Bill 1810 in its current form.
Second.
A motion was made to pass Youth Congress Bill 1810 in its current form, and the motion has been seconded. Discussion?
None.
There being none, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. The ayes have it. Youth Congress Bill 1810 is passed in committee. At this time, I once again turn the proceedings over to the Chair on Health and Welfare.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The last item under new business is Youth Congress Bill 18-11 to improve student meal plans and reduce student meal waste at all CNMI schools and for other purposes. This bill was also referred to our committee during our last regular session. At this time, the chair recognizes the mover of the bill, Senator Tomokani, to elaborate on the bill's purpose.
Thank you, Madam Chair. CNMI school dining facilities are met with many problems such as sanitary concerns from students who have been faced with the decision to skip meals due to unsanitary conditions and mistreatment. With numerous student-reported incidents of contamination concerns, a number of students have lost trust in the food they have and continue to be served. Trust is also lost when workers have been reported to mistreat students with passive aggressiveness and hostility. The CNMI public school system must enforce stricter protocols that regulate the facilities in which student meals are prepared and served to ensure that the same experiences are not repeated and trust is reestablished between students and their respective school catering agencies. In doing so, the CNMI PSS Child Nutrition Program must work with catering agencies across the CNMI and sending professionals over to school sites who will perform consistent quality check-ins that ensure their workers meet the expectations that have been placed upon them. Additionally, the CNMI public school system should mandate the carrying of personal water bottles to minimize and eventually eliminate the statewide use of disposable plastics on school grounds. To minimize the amount of plastic waste that meets our landfills, it is essential that investment be made in the replacement of all plastic utensils with bamboo or wooden cutlery, which are biodegradable and can be used in composting sites. Where possible, plastic containers that hold dry foods, such as grains, vegetables, and meats, should be replaced with cardboard, and a more affordable and easily biodegradable alternative that can also increase the storage efficiency of meal containers. The CNMI PSS Child Nutrition Program must then work to improve the rotation of food items in their menus to include more whole foods that do not require much, if any, amount of packaging, as a replacement of plastic waste is not necessary where no waste is created in the first place. I foresee a change that would minimize waste, reduce the use of single-use plastics in the CNMI on a school-level basis, and regain trust between CNMI public school students and their meal providers. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Senator Tomokani. Any further discussion, members?
None.
If nothing further at this time, the chair will now entertain a bill to pass, Youth Congress Bill 18-11.
Second.
I recognize Senator Abriel.
It has been moved and seconded to pass Youth Congress Bill 1811 in its current form. Discussion?
I'd like to call for a recess.
We are back from recess. I now recognize Senator Mangonia.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I make a motion to pass Youth Congress Bill 1811 in its current form.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded to pass Youth Congress Bill 18-11 in its current form. Discussion?
None.
There being none, all those in favor of the motion say aye.
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 All those opposed say nay. The ayes have it. Youth Congress Bill 18-11 is passed in committee. At this time, I recognize Chairwoman Mangonia.
Thank you, Chairwoman Sablan. With all bills passed out of our respective committees, we can proceed with drafting the joint committee report. I ask the clerk to act expeditiously to prepare the report for signature so it can be presented during our next regular session. We move on to item 7, miscellaneous. Are there any items any of the members would like to share under miscellaneous? If none, I now recognize Chairwoman Sablan.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We move down to announcements. Are there any announcements from the members?
None.
Thank you, members. I now recognize Chairwoman Mangonia.
Thank you, Madam Chair. With all items of business addressed in today's agenda, the chairs will now entertain the motion to adjourn this joint committee meeting. Senator Tomokani, you are recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I offer a motion to adjourn today's meeting. So moved.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded to adjourn this joint committee meeting. Any discussion on the motion?
Ready.
All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say nay. The ayes have it. This committee meeting is adjourned. May you all have a happy Covenant Day weekend.